Here's the preview of the national championship game for the Division I men's basketball between number 1 seed Kansas and the 8th seed North Carolina. Let's be honest, North Carolina should have been a higher seed than an 8 when it's all said and done. And Kansas right now is favored by 4.5 points, though, according to ESPN, though it could change. Of course, on average, North Carolina averages 78.1 points per game, but they allow 68.2. 40.9 rebounds per game, 15.1 assists per game, 3.9 blocks per game, 5.3 steals per game. For Kansas, 78.4 points per game, so nearly identical to North Carolina. But they only allow 60.8 points per game, 37.9 rebounds per game, 15.4 assists per game, 4.3 blocks per game, and 6.3 steals. Obviously, some players to keep an eye on Kansas are the following. Ochai Agbaji, of course, 18.9 points per game. Christian Braun, 14.2 points per game. Jalen Wilson, 11 points per game. David McCormick, 15.5 points per game. Remy Martin, who has transformed after coming back, and he's playing really, really great recently, 8.4 points per game. Dejon Harris, 5.5 points per game. Mitchell Lightfoot, 4.7 points per game. Jalen Coleman-Lands, 3.8 points per game. Joseph Yesufu, 2.1 points per game. Of course, KJ Adams is 1.1 points per game if you consider him. Some players to keep an eye on Kansas are the following. Armando Bacot with 16.3 points per game. Caleb Love, 16 points per game. Brady Manick, 15.2 points per game. RJ Davis, 13.5 points per game. Leaky Black, it's 5 points per game. Curran Walton at 3.4 points per game. Puff Johnson, 2.8 points per game. Dontrez Styles, 2 points per game. Justin McCoy, 1.1 points per game. DeMarco Dunn, 1 point per game. And I got to bring up the stat here when Kansas or North Carolina allows or when they score 70 or more. Kansas is 8-6 whenever they allow 80 or more, which is all their losses. While North Carolina is 10-9 when they allow 70 or more, which is all their losses as well. So something's going to give here. But the crazy thing is both teams are great whenever they score above 70 points or more. Kansas is 27-3. But North Carolina is 25-4 when they score or 70 or more. So it's clear both teams are really, really near unstoppable when taken down, when they make a bunch of shots and get a 70 or more. So if it's going to be that type of game, it's a pick 'em. I mean, clearly Kansas does have the depth advantage in terms of depth, like the bench points probably. But the starting five for North Carolina is with Kansas, to be honest. Of course, we don't know how the officiating is going to be. So foul trouble on both teams are going to be key in this game. Defensively, you got to not, of course, not foul because free throws do matter at the end of the day. I mean, you can't let the other team get comfortable in their offense. You got to get some rebounds. You got to limit the second chance points, fast break points, and points off turnovers. And you got to contain the shooters and contain the slashers. But for the offensive side of things, you got to take care of the ball because they're going to get out. Both teams are going to get out and run and try to get some transition points. So you got to get transition points, fast break points, second chance points. Make your free throws count. Yes, I'm going to really say that because, look, sometimes it's a make or break when you make, whether you're going to win or not is based on free throws. I mean, look, for example, Duke missed 8 free throws out of 20, and they're lost to North Carolina. That's clear. And both teams are going to look to speed the game up because they're really that type of team. Those two teams are that type. Obviously, and you got to get some rebounds and points on turnovers, second chance points, fast break points. Like I said, you got to take care of the ball, make your free throws. But my biggest question for North Carolina is, will they have a letdown game after an emotional win over your rival? But my question for Kansas is, will you win your first national championship since 2008? And I think both teams have been fortunate up to this point with given their draws to get to the national championship. First of all, North Carolina got to play their rival, and they know how to beat their rival. Of course, they played a 1 seed Baylor that was banged up. Not to make any excuses for the Bears, but I'm just saying. But they nearly blew that game despite having a 25-point lead. North Carolina did. So they could have easily been out around at 32, if we're being honest. Then they faced UCLA, who was a little banged up, but not as banged up as Baylor. I don't know. They get to play a 15 seed in the Elite Eight. Of course, they got to play their rival. But for Kansas, they played Creighton in the second round. They lost their best big guy the game before, out for the year with an injury. Then they got to play Providence. That game was really, really close. 4 points. That was probably the game that they might have lost, if we're being honest. Then they got to play a 10 seed Miami and dominated them in the second half. They played a banged up Villanova team with not a lot of depth, but still a fundamentally sound team on defense and a little bit slow paced on offense. So who am I going to go for the winner here? There's a reason why Kansas hasn't won a national championship since 2008, and I'm going with the hot team right now. Both teams are on fire right now, but I'm going with North Carolina because I think they found a way to win this game. Though I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas won. It's just, there's a reason why Kansas hasn't won a national championship since 2008. I'm not saying Bill Self lost his touch. No. But I'm just going to say that right now. And I'm going to go on record and picking that upset. And another thing, too, all the favorites for the national championship have been eliminated at some point in the tournament. I mean, Gonzaga, Arizona. I'm not saying Baylor's a national championship contender. Oh, no. If they were healthy, yes. But if they're not. Since they were not, no. Kentucky was eliminated. So, yeah, Purdue as well. I'm just saying, there's been a lot of upsets with the favorite. And the thing is, being a favorite in a game does not matter. And the winning percentage of the game does not matter. Because it just comes down to who's going to play the best for that one game. I will do like the NBA lottery picks for probably like 15 or 16 guys. I know there's 14 picks or less, but I'm just saying that just to make it simpler, because those guys could be any one of those guys being a lottery pick for the NBA draft. Anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys later. Let's get me up to 400 subscribers or more by the end of this year.